Happy Friday! I just thought, why don't we have a Happy Friday dance to start our day? Friday, Friday, let's all dance on Friday. To the weekend. Are you looking forward to the weekend? Yeah! Yeah! Shake! Friday, let's all have fun Friday. To the weekend, weekend. Let's have fun on Friday. Party and party and yeah! Yeah! Woohoo! Happy Friday, first class! Attention foxes! Foxes, all the small foxes. Mr Fox here, are all the small foxes here? Have we got all the boys small foxes? Yes, okay, very good. Have we got all the girls small foxes? Yes, excellent, all right. And have all the small foxes got their fox book for Fox Friday? Excellent, they do. Excellent, excellent. Well, you know, can any small fox, is there any small fox out there who could tell me what chapter we're on? Oh yes, we did chapter 1 and that was the farmers, and we did chapter 2 and that was the foxes. Then we did chapter 3 and that was that was when I lost my tail. And then oh yes, then the shovels. Could you maybe think of 2 sentences to tell me what happened with the shovels? Would anybody be able to tell me? Off you go. Oh, yeah, yes. And then what? The diggers, yeah. Right, I see. Okay, so if that's chapter 4, then we must be on chapter 5. And at the moment the foxes are safe, but we'll have to wait to see what happens. Okay, we're on chapter 5. It's on page number 20. And if you need to pause me while you find your page, off you go. Are you cozy? Are you in your cozy corner? Excellent, I'm lovely and cozy. Using my fingers and my eyes to track where we're going, right? Excellent. Chapter 5, The Terrible Tractors. As the sun rose the next morning, Bogus and Bunce and Bean were still digging. That means they'd been digging all night long. They had dug a hole so deep you could have put a whole house into it. But they had not yet come to the end of the fox's tunnel. They were all very tired and cross. "Dang and blast," said Bogus. "Whose rotten idea was this?" "Bean's idea," said Bunce. Bogus and Bunce both stared at Bean. Bean took another swig of cider, then put the flask back into his pocket without offering it to the others. "Listen," he said angrily. "I want that fox. I'm going to get that fox, and I'm not giving up. And I'm not giving in until I've strung him up over my front porch, dead as a dumpling." "We can't get him by digging, that's for sure," said the fat Bogus. "I've had enough of digging." Bunce, the little pot-bellied dwarf, looked up at Bean and said, "Have you got any more stupid ideas then?" "What?" said Bean. "I can't hear you." Bean never took a bath. He never even washed. As a result, his ear holes were clogged with all kinds of muck and wax and bits of chewing gum and dead flies and stuff like that. This made him deaf. "Speak louder," he said to Bunce, and Bunce shouted back, "Got any more stupid ideas?" Bean rubbed the back of his neck with a dirty finger. He had a boil coming up there, and it itched. What we need on this job," he said, "is machines. Mechanical shovels. We'll have them out in 5 minutes with mechanical shovels." This was a pretty good idea, and the other two had to admit it. "All right then," Bean said, taking charge. "Bogus, you stay here and see that the fox doesn't escape. Bunce and I will go to fetch our machinery. If he tries to get out, shoot him quick. The long, thin Bean walked away. The tiny Bunce trotted after him. The fat Boggis stayed where he was, with his gun pointing at the foxhole. Ooh, pictures. Soon, two enormous caterpillar tractors with mechanical shovels on their front ends came clanking into the wood. Bean was driving one, Bunce the other. The machines were both black. They were murderous, brutal-looking monsters. "Here we go, then," shouted Bean. "Death to the fox," shouted Bunce. The machines went to work, biting huge mouthfuls of soil out of the hill. The big tree, under which Mr Fox had dug his hole in the first place, was toppled like a matchstick. On all sides, rocks were sent flying, and trees were falling, and the noise was deafening. Down in the tunnel, the foxes crouched, listening to terrible clanging and banging over their heads. "What's happening, Dad?" cried the small foxes. "What are they doing?" "It's an earthquake!" cried Mrs Fox. "Look," said one of the small foxes, "our tunnel's getting shorter. I can see daylight." They all looked around, and yes, the mouth of the tunnel. What is the mouth of the tunnel? That means the bit of the tunnel that opens into the ground, the hole that you get into to go into the tunnel. Was only a few feet away from them now, and in the circle of daylight beyond they could see two huge black tractors, almost on top of them. "Tractors!" shouted Mr Fox, "and mechanical shovels! Dig for your lives! Dig, dig, dig!" That's the end of the chapter. First class, it's getting very exciting in this book and a little bit scary for those foxes. Tell me this, what do you think is going to happen? Now, if you've seen the movie or if you've read the book before, don't tell anybody else, but have a guess or see, can you remember what do you think is going to happen? Oh, goodness me. Well, I hope those foxes stay safe, so I do. I really, really do. For chapter 5, I'd like you to get your February workbook. Okay? Off you go and grab it. Pause me if you need to. When you open your February workbook, you'll have your sets that we've already used this week. And you'll have some ladybirds. And then if you keep going, there'll be some more maths and questions, and then you'll come to a page like this. It says Fox News and has 3 coloured boxes, and then it's got some questions on this side. Okay, so if you open it up on that page. In a newspaper, there's always lots of writing to tell all the mummies and daddies and boys and girls and people who read the newspaper all about the stories inside the newspaper. But at the top of the newspaper, in big writing, there's what they call a headline, okay? And the headline is just a few words, usually not even a full sentence, just a couple of words that tells people the main thing in the story. So for example, if I wanted to tell you the main thing about chapter 1, about the farmers, I would just get a short little few words, and I might say, 3 dirty farmers. And then somebody would go, what, 3 dirty farmers? And then they'd read the story to tell them about it. Or if I wanted to tell you about chapter 2, about, what it all says about Mr. Fox, I might say, sneaky red creature alert. Sneaky red creature alert. And people would go, oh, what is the sneaky red creature? And it would make them want to read chapter 2. Or if I was going to do a headline for chapter 3 was all about the shooting the foxes, I might say something like, boom, shots fired. And see, the headline doesn't tell people the story. It doesn't tell them who he shot or what happened or who had a gun. It just says something exciting in a few words, not even a full sentence, that makes people want to read it. Or, you know, chapter 4, when they're digging, I might say something like, for a headline like, "Run, Fox, run!" Or "Dig, Fox, dig!" Or "Dig faster!" And that might make people say, why do they need to dig faster? What's going on? And then they'd want to read chapter 4. So what we're going to do on this page is there's 3 boxes, a yellow one, a blue one, and a kind of orangey coloured one. And we've just read chapter 5. Now, chapter 5 is all about the terrible tractors. And we know that in chapter 5, the farmers were arguing. Then they came up with an idea. Then they got the machines. Then the foxes got scared. So, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think of 3 headlines for chapter 5. What would be a good headline? Something exciting. Something that gives a clue about chapter 5. Well, Mrs. Fox called it an earthquake. So one headline might be, "Earthquake!" Or another one might be, "Tractors everywhere!" Or, "A great idea." Now, those would be my 3. If you want to use one of my ideas to give you a head start, you can. You can use one of my ideas to put in one of these boxes. But then you need to come up with your own ideas for headlines for chapter 5. It's not about any of the other chapters, just for chapter 5. And you need to do the other 2 yourself. Okay? So coming up with the headlines for chapter 5. And then we just need to do, there's just 2 questions on the next page. Okay? Question 1. Why could Bean not hear anything? Who can remember? It says in there, the other farmers had to shout so that he could hear. But why could he not hear anything? Think about what they said about his ears. And if you're not sure, go back to chapter 5. It's on kind of near the bottom of page 20 and maybe a little bit of the top of page 21, and go and read and see why could Bean not hear anything, and then write the answer down. Okay, use a full sentence. Question 2. Why did Mrs. Fox say earthquake? Or it's an earthquake. Why did Mrs. Fox say it's an earthquake? Well, have a little think, okay? Because they had gotten tractors, and the tractors were digging. Think about what you might have been able to hear. Think about what might have been happening to the ground, and then you write your own answer for why do you think Mrs. Fox said it's an earthquake? Have a little think. Super duper. Okay, so off you go and do those. I can't wait to see your answers and your headlines. They're going to be super good. And when you're ready and when you finish that, pop back to me and we'll do a shake break. Alrighty? Are you ready for a shake break? Get some space. All it takes is you and me. And our song. I just wanna dance with you. Let the whole world dance for me. And I just wanna dance with you. Good. I chose that song today because that one is a song that I love at the minute. I've got one more song later for a little other bit of our PE that's going to be another song that somebody else requested. And if you requested a song that I haven't been able to play yet for a shake break or in PE or something like that, make sure you ask Mummy or Daddy to put it on Seesaw or to email it to me so that I can do a shake break to it for you. Is that okay? Excellent. We gotta go do a little bit of maths. Woo! So just before we sit down after our shake break, and I'll ask how that was in a minute, let's just get our tables test done really quickly. Now you have been doing your tables test about minus numbers this week, takeaways. So we need to write our date first, and today is the 5th of February, and then February is January, February. It's the second month. Oh, you can't even see what I'm writing. Look, there we go. The 5th of February, and the year is 2021. So you can write the date just like that, okay? You can skip a line and write number 1 for question 1, and we put a little dot so we know that it's not part of the sum, it is just the question that we're doing. Okay, then skip a column of boxes. Then we're going to do the first one. The first one's going to be 8 take away 1 equals. Okay, so pause it if you need to. Some people do write all the sums, then get the answers for all the sums, and some people pause it after each sum. You can choose. Okay, number 2, 12 take away 1 equals. Number 3, 4 take away 1 equals. Number 4, like I said, pause it if you need to. I'm going quite quickly because you're able to pause it. You can't really see that, you can't. It's very shiny light today. I'll see what I can do about that in a minute. Hold on now. What I'll do is I'll make sure I show them to you up close afterwards, but that's 4 take away 1 equals. Question 4 is going to be 1 take away 1 equals. Good job. Number 5 is going to be 11 take away 1 equals. And the last one, number 6, is going to be 6 take away 1 equals. So let me show you these up nice and close. Let the light shine on them. Okay, so there's your sums. Pause it on this if you need to write them all down. Okay, good job. Whew. I enjoyed that shake break. I hope you did too. I decided to come back to my cozy corner because actually I rather like it here for doing some work. So I'm going to be in my cozy corner while we do a little bit of maths. I have grabbed my February workbook and my counters, and we're going to start dividing numbers using our counters again, just to start us off. Okay, so I'm just going to choose a number, and we'll maybe just do 2 of these. I think the first number I'll choose is 12. So I'll get 12 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so there's my 12 counters. And now I'm going to see what is half of them. This is going to end up being 1 half, and this is going to end up being the other half. So I'll do 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, oh, sneaky, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. So 1 half of 12 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Brilliant. Okay, I think the next one I'll do is 18. So I know that I already have 12 there because I already did 12. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I wonder, what would I have to double to make 18? What and what makes 18? Well, 9 plus 9 makes 18. So let's see if 1 half ends up being 9. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9. Oh, so 1/2 of 18 ended up being 9, just like we practiced. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn over my page and have a look at the ladybirds, okay? So it says ladybirds halving to 20. It wants to know what is half of 10. So it has 10 counters here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it has 10 counters there. And it wants to know what half is. So I'm going to do this. Look. 1, cross it off. 1, cross it off. 2, cross it off. 2, cross it off. 3, cross it off. 3, cross it off. 4, cross it off. 4, cross it off. 5, 5. Okay, so half is going to be one side, so 1/2 of 10 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Half of 10 is 5. Okay, that was pretty good. Do you think you'd be able to do the other ladybirds? It's nice and simple, and you can use your counters if you want. You could get, so it says half of 12, so it's got 12 here, so you can do it the same way I did it, or you could get 12 counters, pop them out, and then draw how many on each side, okay? So if you fire ahead and you do that worksheet, while I go and get the projector set up for some busy at maths afterwards. But off you go and do those ones just to start. Did you finish those ladybirds? That was very quick. I am very impressed with those. You must have been teaching those ladybirds something about their spots. So while you were busy doing that, I was busy getting my busy at maths. And guess what? Today we are on page 100! Woohoo! We must be so amazing us getting to page 100. So why don't you get your busy at maths and open it on page 100, and I'll put mine on the projector so we can look at them together. Okay? Off you go! Super duper! Okay, so we've been learning all week about fractions. We've been learning about half and half. So, these are some fraction puzzles. Let's figure them out. It says count and then colour or draw. So you have to read kind of what it says and do what it says. It says colour half the apples green. Oh, colour half the apples green. Well, I think we should do what it says first. I think we should count them first so we can figure out how many is half. Let's count together. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Does anybody know what half of 10 is? You do? If you're not sure, pause the video and get your counters and see, can you figure out what half of 10 is? Well done. And for the people who knew and everybody who figured out with their counters, tell me what's the answer. How many is half of 10? 5. Well done. Half of 10 is 5. Now it says colour half the apples green, colour half the apples red. So I've got my green and I've got my red. And just to make sure, I know it'll probably end up being 5 red apples, 5 green apples. And I'm just going to do it like this. 1 green, 1 red, 2 green, 2 red, 3 green, 3 red, 4 green, 4 red, 5 green, 5 red. Did you see that? So now we were right. Half of 10 is 5, so I have 5 red apples and 5 green apples. Okay, the next one. Oh, it tells us how many there are this time. Listen, there are 18 grapes. So we know that there's 18, and actually funny, we did 18 earlier with our counters, didn't we? Can anybody remember what half of 18 is? Some people remembered. If you're not sure, get your counters. Okay. It says, draw half of them in the purple bowl, draw the rest in the green bowl. So we have to put half of the grapes in the purple bowl. Now, if you don't know what half of 18 is, get your counters and do them, okay? 18 counters and split them out and see how many half is, okay? You can draw half of them in here. And then you draw the rest, and the rest is the other half, because they have to be the same, because half means 2 parts, and it has to be the same in each. Okay. Question number 3. Half of my marbles are in one hand. Oh! He's lost his marbles. Oh no! I wonder if I've lost mine. Anyways, he has half of his marbles here. So this isn't all of the marbles, this is only half of them. It says, draw the other half in my empty hand, in my other hand. Okay, so we know that this is half, and it wants us to draw the other half, so we need to draw the same amount, because halves are always the same. So you'll draw the same amount in this hand, and then you need to fill in the box. There are marbles all together. Now watch that word, it's not saying there are marbles in the other hand, it's saying there are marbles all together. So it shows you half, you have to draw the other half, and then you have to count them all together. Okay, you've got to do a lot of thinking on this page. This page is not trying to trick you, but you really have to think about the words. You've got to go slowly and think about what is it really asking me to do. Okay, number 4 says, there are 12 blocks. Draw 2 towers of equal height. That means equal height, using all the blocks. So you have to draw 12 blocks. Now, have a little look. You can see it on your page probably a little bit better. They already gave you 1, 2 blocks. So how many blocks are there all together? There is 12 blocks all together. So they gave you 1, 2. So you're going to have to draw block 3, block 4, block 5, block 6, block 7, block 8, block 9, block 10, block 11, block 12. That means to make it 12 blocks all together, you need to draw 10 of them. Okay? And we'll make 12 because there's already 2 here. Remember, you're trying to make them equal heights. So that means if I'm going to draw another block there, I need to block the same size there. 1 block, 1 block, 2 blocks, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 3 blocks. And I'll know it's the same height because I'll be able to count your blocks. So even if you do some blocks bigger than the other and they kind of look a little bit lopsided when you finish the towers, I'm going to count the blocks so I can check that they are equal amounts of blocks. Okay? Now, scroll down your page to the next bit. That's it. Question 5. Question 5 says, Peter had 6 teddy bears. So there's his 6 teddy bears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He gave half of them to Jen. Oh, that was very kind of Peter, wasn't it? So he gave half of his teddy bears to Jen. Jen got teddy bears. You've got to figure it out. He had 6 and he gave half of them to Jen. So how many did Jen get? You have to write Jen got teddy bears, how many she got. Peter had teddy bears left. So how many did he have left after he gave half to Jen? Use your counters or crisscross the bears out if you want to. Okay, then you've got to do your challenge at the bottom of the page. And the challenge is usually a little bit tricky, but listen up. Granny shared crayons between Tilly and Tom. So Granny has crayons, and then she has Tilly and she has Tom. So if you need to help for this one, get your counters and get your circles. Okay? Because one circle could be Tilly's circle and one circle could be Tom's circle. They each got half of the crayons. So they got the same amount each. Tilly got half, Tom got half. Tilly got 7 crayons. Okay, so Tilly got 7. If Tilly got 7, how many did Tom get? Remember, they each got half, they each got equal. So if Tilly got 7, how many did Tom get? Well done. There were crayons all together. Well, if Tilly got 7, and you figured out how much Tom got, how many were there all together from Granny? Figure it out, pop your answer in there, take a photo, put it on Seesaw, let me know how you get on, and I can't wait to see when you get back. We are doing PE. So pause me, do your work, and then come back for some PE. Excellent. Okay, who's ready for some PE? Me. Today for PE, we're going to start off with some dancing, and I'm going to play 2 songs. You're going to be allowed to dance whatever you want to do for those songs, because it's all about, sometimes dancing makes us feel different feelings. So I'm going to put on the first one, and you can listen to it and just do whatever your body wants to do and whatever it feels like doing. Okay, here's your first song. Let me see. Good. What kind of feelings? Good. What moves have you got? Well done. Keep going. Good. Let me see. Well done. Woohoo! Well done. Super. So what kind of feelings and what kind of emotions and what kind of did you feel like doing for that song? Tell me. Some people felt happy, some people felt bouncy, very good. What other words? Some people felt, ooh, boppy, bouncy, surprised, energetic, good word. Very upbeat. Yeah, so that was a really kind of fun, happy song. I'm going to put on some more music and just do whatever your body wants to do to dance to it and see what does it feel like this time, okay? Okay, let me see what you want to do for this one. Fast or slow? Good. Are you moving high or low this time? Good. Are you light or heavy? Let me see. Good job. Excellent. Keep moving. Whatever your body feels like doing. Don't stop. Well done, I'm watching, good job. I wonder what your face is doing during this dance. And your wrists and arms, or your back or your tummy. What about your toes? Dancing with your eyes open or closed. Good. Keep doing what the music makes your body feel like doing. Off you go. That was absolutely brilliant. What did that second song make you feel like? Did it make you feel happy or sad? Or nothing? Maybe it made you feel a bit gentle? You tell me, what did it make you feel like? What did it make your body feel like? Ooh, good words. Anyone else got a word? Maybe. Oh yeah, that could be a good word to use. Super, really good thinking. Were they different to dance to, or were they the same? I think some of you were right. I do think they felt a little bit different to dance to, and they made your bodies and your brains and your feelings feel a little bit different. That's because they were different songs. Okay. Make sure you still have enough space. Take a little drink of water if you need one, and I'm going to do the next part of our Everything is Awesome dance. Are you ready? Who can remember it from last week? Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's go over the bits that we already know. We know we do bounce, 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 toe, 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 toe. Bounce, 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 toe, 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 toe. We know we go to the side, step, close, stretch. Stretch, step, close, stretch, stretch. And we do that 2 more times as well. Then we have our robot. So we're going robot, 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 robot. Then we learned our lassos last week. So we pretend we had a lasso in the air. We put our hand on our hips. And we did kind of jumping a little bit side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, swap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we did that for 2 more swaps. Then we did some punches. So we had our hands and fists, and we went low first. Low and low and low and low. Then high, high and high and high and high. We did that again. Then we went to the side, side, in, side, in, and that's as far as we got for last week. So why don't we practice that, and then I'll teach you the next bit. Does anybody know it off by heart yet? Some people do. Oh my goodness me. Okay, get into your bouncy position already. Okay, so the next bit is going to be some handy tricks, okay? So after we do our punch to the side, punch to the side, punch to the side, punch to the side, we're going to do a little bit of a run on the spot. Then we do bending knees. We do knee, knee, criss, cross. Again, knee, knee, criss, cross. Then don't crisscross your shoulders. Normal shoulder. Normal shoulder. Good. Clap up high. Clap. And then go swish, 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 swish. Again. Knee, knee. Cross, cross. Open, open, clap. And a swish, 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 swish. Let's do it again. We go knee, knee. Criss, cross. Open, open, clap. And a swish, 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 swish. Down it goes. Will we try just that little bit with the music? I'll move it back a little bit. Okay. Oh, I went too close. what you're going to be able to do is you get to choose your own move for the last bit. So it can be anything. It could be running around, it could be skipping, it could be kicking, it could be punching, it could be wriggling, it could be down low, it could be up high, it could be breakdancing, it could be twinkle toes, it could be ballet, it could be spins, it could be roly-polies, or anything you like. Okay, so after we've done knee, knee, criss-cross, open, open, cabana, 1, 2, 3, 4, ready to go again. We do that a few times. Then I'm going to say freestyle, and you can do whatever you want. Whatever you like. But we try from the beginning. Let's go from the beginning, and those are our 2 moves for today. Okay? The tricky hand part and the freestyle. Let's go from the beginning. Get your bouncing ready. Here we go. That was so good! High five! Well done, that was amazing. Your freestyle is amazing. And the best part about freestyle is you don't even have to remember what you did. You can change it every time because that's why it's called freestyle. Anyways, Rangahane, super job. Week 3 of home learning done and dusted. You are amazing. You're making me so proud. You are doing the best job ever. And I think you are doing fabulous in school at home. I can't wait to see you again. I miss you so much. But I hope you have the best weekend ever. Lots of love. See you later, alligators.